Greetings once again, heroes and villains. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with My Hero Academia, where previously, as All for One unleashes a massive combination of all of his quirks to propel himself forward in order to burst past Bakugo and get to Tomura Shigaraki. Bakugo unleashes a tiny minuscule explosion, having propelled one of his sweat droplets into All for One's mouth. Ew, so that it could explode him from the inside. He then unleashes a Howitzer Impact to end all Howitzer Impacts to devastate All for One. And it's not just the attacks from Bakugo. No, the vestiges of the other quirks within All for One are running amok. Funny enough, led by Hawks' vestige. That in combination with all the sheer negative feelings that All for One has been going through is completely throwing him off his game. And with one final massive strike, hard enough that it breaks Bakugo's arm, taking a page out of Deku's book, Bakugo slaps All for One down with an explosion to end all explosion, with one of the few times Bakugo admits he was only able to seemingly beat All for One with everyone's contributions up until that moment. But is this truly the end? Because we know how tenacious All for One was when he was a baby, and with how the regression of him in age has been going, are we about to fight the most dangerous toddler in the universe? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, we see the smoldering wreckage after Bakugo's attack. All for One thinks, only a bit further to go. Then I'll transfer my quirk to Tomura. My other self was likely swallowed up and suppressed, but I can still empower him to wrestle back control of that supremely sinister body and mind. Based on what I've observed of Tomura, the other me must have been taken out of commission before he could employ that last-ditch tactic. Okay, last-ditch tactic. Have we already seen that in motion, or is that something yet to come? He thinks victory is still within reach. Control Tomura. Steal one for all. Yoichi, without you it's all for naught. The negatives in life tend to stick in one's memory for so very long. That is true. This is why I thwart the futures of others. Yoichi, I want everyone's eyes on me forever. That is a kind of pathetic admission of why he does what he does. The only way he feels like he'll be remembered. Jeez, God, you see the newborn looking All for One crawling forward, thinking a bit further. It's My Hero Academia, number 410. Farewell, All for One. Bakugo walks out of the dust, bleeding and huffing and puffing, obviously in pain, as he ekes out, "You still haven't poofed away yet, huh?" Ugh, he coughs out a massive amount of blood. And Bakugo thinks to himself, so cold, no strength left. Can't keep standing. He wobbles on his feet, yet All for One continues to move forward, crawling, as he thinks, move aside. Although his infant mouth can only just cry out. Bakugo falls forward, thinking he can't even talk anymore. He's on the verge of birth, which means death. That should be good enough. He'll fade away even without my help. And Bakugo falls. He then remembers a discussion with Kirishima, where he told him, just being able to keep standing through anything makes you crazy strong. And Bakugo does just that. One stomp, he keeps himself from falling. And as the infant All for One looks on, terror seemingly in his eyes, Bakugo sneers at him, saying, that was close. Nah, nothing less than absolute victory for me. And All for One cries out, stay back, crying out and using one of the last few quirks he has, Spear-like Bones? Yeah, Spear-like Bones it was called. He propels it forward out of his mouth, trying to impale Bakugo through the head. But All for One looks on as he sees that Bakugo caught it with his teeth, causing the bone protrusion to explode right back down to All for One. As Bakugo says, nighty-night, All for One. And as the damage makes its way back to All for One, he thinks, I let my emotions get the better of me. That's not like me at all. No. Hate. And as he reversed down to nothing more than a fetus, we'd see the vestiges fading away from within All for One as he thinks, the stolen factors returning to their former owners. Okay, so the powers do go back after he's gone. Although some of those powers ain't gonna have nothing to go back to. Oh, the stolen factors returning to their former owners would be a nice bonus for them, but that's not how it works. Oh, we see the vestige of Hawks fading away. So no, they don't go back, they just fade. So some people aren't even gonna have quirks anymore. And so, All for One fades away to nothing. Unbirthed. Literally. And Bakugo, he tries to raise his fist, and as he falls he thinks, damn it, I really wanted to pull off All Might's standing victory pose, but he does raise his fist up from the ground, thinking, Izuku, give him hell. We then see a flashback cutting to a few days before the operation, with Best Jeanist telling the assembled heroes of Sun Eater, Hado, Edgeshot, Mirako, Bakugo, and Deku. Best Jeanist tells them, Shigaraki is bound to strike at the UA campus. Should we allow him to touch down on the ground, we'll find ourselves quite distressed. Sun Eater says, distressed? Always with the jeans lingo. He then says, cause once he's on the ground we'll be at a huge disadvantage, just like back in Jakku. I've heard the story. Jeanist tells him no. I speak of being united in purpose in regards to what we seek to protect. Sun Eater, embarrassed by his wrong answer, covers himself with his hood. Hado pats him a little bit, a nice little moment, and then says, we're evacuating the whole area, so do you mean we gotta guard some buildings? Edgeshot tells them, we assume the architecture itself will not survive, as our hands will be full enough already, or rather, we set aside such concerns the moment we decide to assign Dabi's battle to Kamino Ward. We act in the hope of saving lives and ensuring a future for all. Mirako then says, yap, get to the heart of the matter. Jeanist tells him, the issue is Shigaraki's personality, which is in a state of flux. We would prefer the All for One persona, actually, because the domination he seeks requires living subjects to dominate. Bakugo then chimes in saying, but if Shigaraki is in the driver's seat, he ain't gonna be so merciful. Jeanist says, with such strength and hatred brewing within him, his desire for destruction may direct itself towards the very earth. Oh, so All for One would have at least held back to some degree. In a world where we emerge victorious, even if we've stood our ground and risen back up from dire strait, it will all be for nothing without a foundation to stand on. No, what we must protect is... We then cut to the evacuation shelter. People watching the events with the destruction going on. A couple cry to each other, saying, no, our home. You farmed that land since my granddad's time. And Inko looks on with tears in her eyes, calling out to her son Izuku. Meanwhile, in the battle between Deku and Shigaraki says, I'm not directing my decay over the surface, but rather down, nice and deep. A hefty chunk of Shizuoka Prefecture will be gone in the blink of an eye. He's literally reshaping the map, god damn. I'll take out 378,000 square kilometers of the country itself. Give me a week, and there'll be nothing left but a sea and sky. Jeez, snuffing out any hope of restoration. That's what it means to destroy everything. We see in the ensuing destruction, the waves moving inland, as Shigaraki makes it through his way through the waves to confront Deku, who's moving through as well. His eyes locked on Shigaraki, as he thinks, by running the second gear shift and the third Fajin, and the fourth danger sense in parallel, I can really go on the offensive, unlike earlier. But I still need a clue about how to stop him for real, and I need it quick. Shigaraki then calls out, my master's dead. All 'cause I didn't break that kid hard enough. That's on me. But I'm actually kind of grateful to the guy. He made me stronger, he thinks of Bakugo. Strong enough to adapt to this one's speed, he says as he reaches out for Deku. And for a split second, it seems like he manages to grab Deku's face, but his fingers are suddenly cut off by Deku as they continue to float in the air through the rain and waves. Shigaraki says, "You slashed off my fingers just in time to avoid a touching moment there, but face facts." Banjo, the Vestas of Banjo, then calls out to Deku, saying, "Kiddo, the fourth, Shinomori's been..." And Deku realizes, and Danger Sense too, as Shigaraki says, "How long can you keep this up?" Did he manage to decay away Danger Sense? Is he destroying quirks now too? That's kind of a bummer. But maybe that'll be how this all ends. All for One himself is now gone. And what if Shigaraki just keeps destroying quirk after quirk after quirk after quirk? Maybe the cycle will start anew with Deku having One for All, or maybe that'll be destroyed. Maybe the series ends with Deku going back to being quirkless. Is that even possible? Or did he steal Danger Sense? This could be bad. This could be really bad. It would be kind of cool though if Deku had some way of maybe stealing them back. I don't know. Honestly, it's funny too because we finally got the end of All for One and I'm just like, okay, finally. Like, just because, I mean, it kind of feels like the battle was decided last chapter. That was it. He was done. It was just his last desperate attempts here. I guess it really would have been wishful thinking that the quirks would have gone back to the people who had them before, but I feel like maybe people would have been mad about that, all things considered. But Bakugo managed to settle things, and honestly, with all the damage All for One took, he was never gonna live through this. Like, shoot, he was already living on borrowed time as is. Shoot, we saw it in that battle against, Dark Shadow and Gigantomachia and Mount Lady and all that. That was enough to kill him. But it took no less than some of the heaviest of heavy hitters raining down attack after attack on him. I will say the one thing that kind of gets me about it is we never did learn All for One's, real name. I mean, we know the family name was Shigaraki. We learned the entirety of his brother Yuichi's name, Yuichi Shigaraki, or Shigaraki Yuichi, however you took it. But never really learned it from All for One. Not sure how I should feel about that. And honestly, I don't know, there's something kind of poetic about the end of All for One because he devolved back into the base of everything he felt. That desperation for attention. Just a kid throwing a tantrum with deadly means. His machinations took on its most simplest form, and that was just someone who wanted to be seen, who wanted to be wanted. It's kind of sad in the end, to a certain degree, but fitting. And Tomura going so far as to be like, I literally meant it when I said I was gonna destroy everything. Like, he was not kidding. He's gonna bring it all down, burn it to the ground, or make it all crumble away. Things are getting dangerous, but let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Also remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you later. Till then, bye-bye.